Dear students, welcome to virtual class of Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. I am Sri Kumar. The class is for 7th standard students. Subject is mathematics. Let me begin the class.
Dear students, we studied about banking system and some fundamental aspect of it in the last video. Those who did not watch the last video should go through it and come back and continue with this video. Otherwise, it will not be easy for you. The topic is banks and simple interest. Some basic aspect of banks were explained to you in the last video. And the main thing described or explained to you was about different types of accounts that we have, like a savings account where you will secure your money and save a little bit. Current account where we are normally used for business purpose, where the flow of money in and out will be very frequent. And also you studied about recurring deposit account where you will be regularly investing a small amount regularly so that you will get an amount accumulated in the bank and later will be useful. And you also studied or understood what is by fixed deposit, where you will be depositing a huge amount compared to savings account and recurring deposit for a particular fixed time or fixed term, we say. All these things were explained in the last video. You can go back to the video, and also an idea about what is the concept of ATM, credit card and debit cards also were explained, and my request is you should see that video so that you can continue here. Now what is left is little serious and little more important to you as far as exam point of view and as well as far as your general awareness is concerned. Okay, so with that in our mind, you should go ahead in this particular topic. This is the page of a passbook. You may not be that familiar because you don't have an account or you are not dealing with passbook. A passbook page is given in your textbook also. These are the entries made in the passbook of a particular person. And the passbook is of 2016, you can see, and there are certain line number is given here, 1, 2, 3, which will be simply indicating which line number for reference. These are dates what given in the month of February. These are particulars. What are particulars? Cash, check, self, interest. This is check number, but not all columns are filled. Here the withdrawn amount, here the amount deposited, here the balance. I will explain you what it is. See, these are some transaction or activities happen in different dates, first on 2nd and then on 8th, then 12th and 15th and 26th of February in 2016. Cash is coming under particular cash transaction has happened. What has actually happened? Withdrawal means taken money, deposited means given to the bank or it comes into your account. So rupees 1,500 was deposited into the bank that day and the balance became 7,000. The second line is of 8th of February where some transaction done with the help of check. And here's a check number. Every check will be having a check number, identification number of the check. What was done with that check? Again, a deposit of 5,000 was made to the bank. That means 5,000 rupees added to your account. You must have deposited a check of 5,000. This is check number, which is a unique number printed just like in the case of our currency, we have a number. Check is also having its own number. Then again a transaction with check, but check number is different, and here it is withdrawn, means the money was taken from the bank. Thereby 7,000 which was added with plus 5,000, 12,000 on 8th, then from that 3,000 was withdrawn again back to 9,000 the balance. Here is something different, self, nothing mentioned here, 1,500. This mentioning is about cash withdrawal. Or you have put up a request for getting money from the bank, 1,500. That's why you have done it. It is not paid to anyone else. Self is given. Not done by a check. That's why check number is not there. So you went to the bank and withdrawn cash. Most of the time, sometimes you will provide a check writing your own name as self and will withdraw the money because it is your money, you can withdraw it anytime. The last one is interest. As you are keeping money in bank, now it is 7,500, sometimes it will be more, sometimes it will be less. Bank is utilizing that money for a certain purpose. Bank is investing that money for a certain purpose. Bank is making money out of our money by giving it as a loan to others. So we get a kind of interest against it. A particular percentage is given to us. 135 rupees is given to us or deposited into our account. It is done by the bank. No person gave you money and you have not deposited, but it is given by the bank as interest. And my dear student, the topic is banks and simple interest. You have come across the concept of interest in previous year also. And you have basic idea about how interest functions. It is a money paid by the bank in percentage per year to the customer because customer keeps money in bank. Here is a question related to it, the given passbook. What is it? On 2nd February 2016, the amount deposited was 1,500 rupees and the balance was rupees 7,000, right? And on 12th of February, dash rupees were withdrawn by check number 243965. How much was withdrawn by the check number? 3,000 was withdrawn. Understood? And the balance was again on 12th, the balance is 9,000. On 26th of February, the bank paid an interest of rupees 135 to you. So a passbook is giving us clear-cut idea about what all transactions happened in the bank. Transactions are mainly of depositing amount into the bank, withdrawing amount from the bank. And how it is deposited, what way it is given under the particulars. And the reference number is check number will be given. So the passbook is a very good mechanism by which we get clear idea about what are happening in the bank in relation to your account. So you be interested to know that, you can check it from your parents. You don't have a bank account because to open a bank account you need a PAN card and you should be above 18 years for that. Okay, let us go ahead in what is given in the textbook. Here is a situation given in the textbook. Who is this? Suvidya borrowed a sum of rupees 30,000 at 8% per annum interest for a year from her bank to buy a computer. At the end of the period, she had to pay back an amount of rupees 2,400 over and above what she had borrowed. So she had to pay more. That is what is said here. So we are asked to just analyze this. Okay, wait a second. Let us analyze what happened here. Based on the given information, we can say that what we can say is she borrowed a particular amount. The borrowed amount from the bank is named as principal borrowed. It is equal to 30,000 rupees. Okay, and the rate of interest is given as 8% per annum. 8 PCP, 8% per annum. The interest, according to this particular state, at the end of the period, she had to pay back an amount of 2,400 rupees over and above what she had borrowed. She had borrowed 30,000. Instead of returning 30,000, she had to return 2,400 rupees over and above. That is the interest. And she paid back when at the end of the period, a year. So the payment was done after a year, that is time is 1 year. Understood? So here we can say that the principal was 30,000 and interest paid is 2,500. So naturally principal we can write 30,000 and interest is 2,400 and she had to pay 30,000 per 32,400 rupees she paid. It's a basic understanding about the concept of interest. Because she took loan. She borrowed. That means she took loan. If you are depositing your money and on that interest will be because you have given money to the bank, so bank will give you a particular amount as interest, that will be an additional amount for you. Understood? So while borrowing also, there is an interest by the bank where bank will collect the interest. When you are depositing the amount, then also there is an interest paid, that money you will be getting as a gain. This particular thing you should understand. Neha took a loan of ₹50,000 at 12% per annum to buy a two-wheeler. What amount she will return to the bank at the end of 1 year? Now they are asking us what will happen in this case, in the case of Neha. Okay, in the case of Neha, we know that the borrowed amount is 50,000. Okay, amount borrowed. Rupees 50,000, right? And it is given that the rate of interest is equal to 12, that is 12% per annum. Then we should understand that on 100 rupees, for your understanding, for 100 rupees, there will be interest will be rupees 12 per annum, per year. Per annum is per year. So we had studied about when you are having a concept about 100 rupees or per unit, we can use the proportion concept for solving the problem. For example, it is said that 12 rupees per 100 rupees. In that case, X rupees will be the interest for 50,000. We can simply, using the concept of proportion, we can solve this sum. We can rewrite this sum as X upon 50,000 is equal to 12 upon 100. We need X on the left side, right? So what we will do? We will remove 50,000. How can we remove 50,000? Multiply both sides by 50,000. So what will be the equation, or what will be the situation next stage? Next stage will be in such a way that X, I will write it over here, X upon 50,000 into 50,000. To remove 50,000, we are doing it 12 upon 100 into, again mistake, into 50,000, correct? So what will happen here? This will get cancelled. It will be X only here. Here 20, 100 से divided करने 20 कम हो जाएंगे. 12 into 500, 12 into 500, which is equal to 6,000. We got X now. What is X now? This is the interest to be paid in 1 year at the rate of 12% per annum. So amount to be paid by, who is that? Neha. Amount to be paid will be the amount of loan she has taken, 50,000 plus 6,000, the interest. That is why principal plus interest we have to pay. So she will be paying 56,000 rupees. Understood? So please understand that this way we can solve the sums. With direct indirect proportion knowledge we are solving it. Okay, we will go ahead. Here is another situation. Akash deposited rupees 25,000 in a bank at the rate of 8% per annum. Akash deposit kiya, borrowing. Last two were borrowing, taken money from bank. Here deposited in the bank. Look at deposited. And the rate of interest is 8% per annum. Akash will get. And deposited for 3 years. How much interest does he get? Every year, per year, and how much altogether? 3 साल altogether कितना मिलेगा? So we know that amount I will straight away without any kind of explanation, because you are understanding. If it is 100 rupees, we know that 8 rupees you will be getting. So if it is 100 rupees, the interest 100 rupees, the rate of interest per annum is 8% per annum. So in that case, what I can do is I will simply straight away write in such a way that 8 if it is 100, then how much it is X if it is 25,000. Again, the concept of proportion, if interest is more, the rate of interest is according to the amount is more, the rate of interest you will be getting more. It's a matter of direct proportion. One upon other will be constant. So we are using it. The next stage I can simply write that instead of multiplying with 2,000, 25,000 on the left side, multiply with right side. क्या होने वाला है? Left side के 25,000 निकल जाएगा. Right side you will be having 25,000. Later you will say that you put 25,000 on the right side. That is all your expertism later, not 2,500, 25,000. Now cancel this. You have 250 here. 8 into 250 is 2,000. Okay, but this is for 1 year. Akash has deposited for 3 years. So 3 into 2,000. I'm not writing the statement. For 3 years, likhna hai aapko idhar. For 3 years, it is equal to 6,000. What is equal to interest? What interest it is? That Akash will be getting. How much he had deposited earlier? He had deposited 25,000. So he will be getting 6,000 interest. He will be getting an interest total is 6,000. And what was the principal deposited? Amount deposited, which is called as principal, it is 25,000. So you will get total amount he will be receiving after 3 years is 25 plus 6,000, 31,000. जो भी पूछा आप दे देंगे, ये सब पूछा नहीं, ऐसे ही दे रहा हूँ आपको. Okay, that's it. From what happened actually, we have developed we can develop a formula to find out. What actually I did or you understood is, if we are writing x upon 25,000, which is equal to 8 upon 100, then x is equal to 8 into 25,000 upon 100, and we got it as 2,000. Then what we did was 2,000 into 3, which is equal to 6,000. This is the interest that Akash will be getting. We can develop some technique by which steps can be reduced, or we can develop a formula. For example, earlier also you have studied that the interest can be calculated by a formula PRT upon 100. P is principal, which you know now what is principal. R is rate of interest, which you know that PCPA. T is time, but in years, क्योंकि 3 years का बात किया था. So let us find out interest in the case of Akash. P is 25,000. Rate of interest is 8 per 100. Into time is 3 years. Let us solve this. We are getting 6,000. So why can't we use this formula directly to solve the sums? Yes, we can. So we developed a formula, or we understood or remembered a formula which is having how to calculate total interest, we can say. Total interest, because of 3 years we are calculating. Total interest is equal to PRT upon 100. So you will add this formula and apply this formula directly in the next occasion. Okay, let me move ahead. Now you are familiar with the formula. We will have some extra cautious situations. Certain situation will be a little bit slightly different. We will deal that also now. Here you can see the question is Santi Bahu. ऐसा भी नाम हो सकता है. Santi Bahu borrowed 1,20,000 rupees from bank, Lonely Eye, 4 years, for 4 years at the rate of 8.5 PCPA for his son's education. What is the total amount returned to the bank at the end of that period? तो लोन लिए तो इंटरेस्ट के साथ रिटर्न करना पड़ेगा. We are having our formula to calculate interest PRT or PTR by 100. PRT लिखो, PTR लिखो, सब एक ही है. Straight away to the sum. No more, no need of simple explanation for it. Principal is given as 1,20,000. Rate of interest is one thing special here, 8.5. So how can we write 8.5 in this formula? That is what is peculiarity of it. 8.5 you can write as 8.5 if you feel comfortable. Or you can write it 8 to 16 plus 17 upon 2. Then that case you will write like this, 17 upon 2. Then there is 100 or formula 100. It's percentage only. Or you can write it as directly 8.5 if you are comfortable. Then put 100 here into the time given over here is 4 years. You will calculate the amount of interest. How usually you do multiplication and division. You will cancel here, then you will multiply all these things. 4 into what we say 1,200, then 8.5. Anyway you can do. If you want to remove this 8.5, you can multiply with another 10 over here. This decimal point will be removed if you want. All up to how much comfortable you are. That means if you put 10 over here and multiply with 10 over here, it will become 1,200 into 85 into 4 upon 10 it would be. You can even cancel that and it will become 120. Then it will become 4 into 120. It's comparatively easy. 4 into 120 is equal to 480 into 85. Ultimately, you will get an answer 40,800 rupees. This is the interest you will be paying. The point over here is when it comes 8.5, how to write. Okay, we will go ahead. Is there any more? Some yes. Umesh borrowed some money for 5 years. Again, ye Umesh sab borrow karte. All these people are borrowing money. Borrowing means taking loan. At simple interest. The rate of interest is 9% per annum. And if he returns 17,400 rupees altogether at the end of 5 years, how much he had borrowed? थोड़ा आपको काम दे रहे. उमेश borrowed money. कितना है हमको बोल रहा नहीं है. उमेश एकदम स्मार्ट है. उमेश borrowed some money. But how much you returned? 17,400. Madam, it is the total of principal plus interest after 5 years. Interest rate is given. So we have to apply our common sense little upside down. Understood? We don't know the interest here. We don't know the principal here. We have more than one way. One of the ways we are familiar with direct inverse proportion, which is always for our safety. That means if you are taken 100 rupees borrowed, if 100 rupees borrowed for 9 years at the rate of 9%, for 5 years, not 9 years, we know that the interest will be, we apply the formula PRT upon 100. तो कैंसिल होके 45 रुपीज इंटरेस्ट आएगा. मतलब if 100 rupees was taken as loan plus 45 rupees, you will return 145 rupees. That means 100 rupees if you borrowed, you will pay 145 rupees. Proportion बना रहे. This is the principal and this is the money paid back at the end of 5 years. In that case, if X borrowed, you will be paying back, you have paid back 17,400. समझा? Proportion कैसे काम में आता है? If you find out, that will be the principal. If 100 rupees, the principal 145 you paid back. X is the principal 17,400 you paid back. Now find out X. You can bring it for your convenience. X is equal to, you have to remove 17,400 from left and right side. So you will write X upon 17,400 is equal to 100 upon 140 because left में लाने के लिए उल्टा लिखा बस. And multiply both sides with 17,400. What will happen? X will be there on the left side and 100 upon 145 into 17,400 will give you the answer. थोड़ा आपको काम करना पड़ेगा. If you divide 145 with 5, you are having 2 5s are 10, 9 5s are 45. If you are dividing with this 5, 20. Understood? Now, is there any common between 29 and 174? That will be the clue. मैं जरा check करता हूँ. Is there anything common between 29 and what we say 174? As the unit price is having 4 and 1 second, my pen is troubling me. Okay, the unit price is having 4, we can say that 9 6 are 50. We'll try with 6. 9 6 are 54, 6 2s are 12 plus 5, 17, barabar. So this will go 6 times here. This became 600 and we are having 20 over here. 20 into 600 is equal to 12,000. Right? This is the amount he borrowed. वही पूछा है ना. He borrowed 12,000 rupees. We did it with a proportion concept. That's why the chapter direct and inverse proportion is very important. When I was teaching that, I told you 100 times that बहुत काम का चीज है. So हो गया ना काम का चीज. Maths is like that. When you learned about percentage, you never thought that 7th standard में percentage का काम आएगा. When you learned about addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, that time you thought that it is ending over there, but it was the beginning. Everything you learned in the past, 8.5%, तो 8.5 लेगा, decimal point आ गया, division आ गया, subtraction आ गया, multiplication आ गया. So everything what you learned in previous years comes in everyday use in mathematics. That is a very important peculiarity of it, and we solve problems by that. So my dear students, you will get into the problem set and will do your level best in your own way to solve it. Because you have to become strong enough to solve the problems. Thank you.
Now click on the subscription button below to subscribe the channel, then the bell button to get the notifications of the new videos. Thank you.